Rejection attempt 30. I'm going to talk to my wife about some of her biggest rejections.
Yeah. Hi.
Let's go. Welcome to the 66 Day Experiment. I'm Alex. This is my wife, Megan. And if
Hi.
you're watching on the video, you'll see how pretty she is. On the audio, you won't get that as much. You'll just hear a very attractive audio voice.
Oh, thank you.
And this experiment is more so about learning about rejection from my wife's perspective. I think it's a fear that you have more than I do, the fear of rejection. And sometimes I think I overlook some aspects of what you face versus what I face.
Yeah.
But one of the first questions I wanted to ask is what has been the greatest rejection you've faced?
I think the greatest rejection that I faced is my career choices. Growing up, I had great parents. But they were but
No, you had great parents, and one of the things they taught me.
One of the things that they taught me, they were extremely logical. So they're like, you have to have a job that pays the bills, and so on and so forth. And then I had this grandparent who said, "You're a Mason," because I was a Mason at that time. "You're a Mason. You can do anything that you put your mind to." And so I grew up with these kind of contradicting, I didn't know how to put them together, ideas. And I was never taught on how to put those two together. And so I went back and forth before I went to college, like, oh, I want to be a teacher. No, I want to act. No, I'll go into accounting. So I graduated in the first couple years from a community college with an associate's in accounting, associate's in liberal arts, and then I also had a minor in acting. So I had all of these different things going on, and so I went to a college and I went to get my bachelor's in accounting, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. So I switched my major over to television and digital media production because I loved acting, and I figured if I can get a little bit of acting in with that, then that would be great. But I mean, throughout the whole entire time, I was like, I want to work on movies, I want to write scripts, and I want to act. And I just had people telling me, no, you can't do that. That's not, it's not, it's not logical. Like, the chances of you making it are so slim. And so, a lot of the times I had to deal with a lot of rejection. And then the times when I didn't have to deal with rejection, when I actually got something, I actually had a scholarship to go to the New York Film Academy. And I was like, okay, I'll go. I had all these fighting things going against me, and then my uncle got sick, and I had to call up the person and say, I can't come. There's too much going on. And I could have done it. I rejected that for myself.
So going to college and choosing a degree you hated, what was the transition from, okay, I hate this, I need to do something else. So instead of doing something more safe, like choosing a degree, what made you go against those voices? Because, I mean, I'll be honest, you tend to listen to what other people say.
I always listen to what other people say.
And when you make a decision, and to go against what family members were saying, what friends were saying, seems unlike you. Really.
It was unlike me. I didn't have as much I didn't have as much of my mom like telling me no for the television and digital media degree because it was so broad. I could work at a news station, or I could work at the radio station. And she thought, okay, well, at least she'll make a comfortable living doing that. So people didn't really push back for that. But that's not really what I truly desired. I truly desired to act. And to this day, I mean, I still would love to do that. That's why I tried to do because audiobooks, because you can act while you're working. It's so much fun to inflect different characters into your
Mm-hmm.
voices. It's really sad because I really wanted to do something. And when it comes down to it, I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity. And I had a whole bunch of people telling me no, when really I didn't I didn't need that. Like, there was the possibility of yes, but everybody was telling me no, you can't. And I gave into that and I said, "You're right, I can't." When really I could.
You could have.
I could have.
But I think the interesting thing is I mean, that's how we met, right? You came to the college where they had a program that you were interested in, and so I mean, the facing the rejection aspect is what led us to be together.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. That's a good story to write in my memoir, about you facing the fear.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't want to do this as a parent to say that, um, because I wasn't able to chase my dreams as a kid, that my daughter can't. And I think that's becoming more popular, of encouraging the creativity. Because now you see so many, YouTube and Vine stars that are like in their teens.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched some of their videos. They're hilarious. And they've got like 1.2 million views on some of their things. And it's like, okay, things are changing. You can be creative and be cool and nerdy at the same time.
Exactly.
So I definitely want to encourage, no matter how foolish or audacious our children's dreams or our friends' dreams are, I don't want to discourage them from not pursuing those things. I don't want to give them the sense of
And they are going
rejection,
to have those.
the fear of rejection.
They're going to have those dreams. I mean, they come from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they just will.
Yeah.
And so we just need to encourage that in a good way. Just trying to figure out how to encourage that in a good way.
Well, what's really interesting about us is that I also wanted to be acting and editing, and one of these days I ought to get it on YouTube, where I made this really silly movie that was very, very popular in my high school. I was like the YouTube star of high school before YouTube, and everyone loved it and they wanted more, and I created more videos and people thought they were hilarious. Not everybody, of course, but
they were pretty funny.
Yeah. And I don't think anything was said to me like, don't pursue that as a path. I guess a lot of factors, society, culture, parents, friends, family, saying, the life of a creative is dangerous. It's unreliable. You don't know where your next paycheck will come from.
It's reckless.
And I chose the safe path.
It can be so sexy in some ways. You're like, I want that,
Yeah.
Like, oh, that is the
Well,
dream.
that's what this is.
Yeah, that's
what this show is about. Yeah, we're recording, okay. I was thinking, are we so dangerous that I'm not recording right now? But we are. No worries. I think the lesson that I've learned from all this rejection is that, even if the dream is pious and people are telling you that's a really crazy idea or you shouldn't go with that, is that you should pursue it, but don't expect like it to be rainbows and unicorns.
Oh no, it's
and gnomes
hard
along
work.
the way.
Yeah, it's hard work.
And sometimes it's not rewarding. I mean, some of these episodes that I've created on Facebook, they've been only viewed like 100 times. And I say only 100 when, in fact, like, that's a big number.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
But sometimes I put that fear on myself to say, oh my gosh, only 100 people viewed this stupid video, when I've had, episodes that have been downloaded, viewed like over 2,000 times. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Am I being interesting? Am I contributing to the conversation? Am I just being unoriginal? But when you think about it, that's 100 people in an audience, and that's
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a large group of people who are watching. So if you're a regular listener slash viewer of the show, thank you for being a part of this journey with me and my wife.
Yeah.
Many people have requested that she come back on the show, so that's what this is. I want to include her more in it, and she has rejected me in doing her own rejection experiments. And why is that exactly? Why are you doing rejection experiments?
Because it makes me feel uncomfortable. And I have anxiety issues.
Yeah.
But, I mean, baby steps, right? Baby steps.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you could.
I am sure there are people out there who are like, yeah, I totally agree with her.
Yeah. And Alex is weird for doing stuff like this. Alex is really weird.
I still love you.
Most of my friends and you think that anyway. So it doesn't really change anything. I'm just broadcasting it to the world.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your biggest rejection that you've ever had and you faced and you overcame. A lot of lessons from that.
Yeah. It's funny because it's funny where God puts you, because you're like, you know, on that path and you think, well, what if I would have done that? You know, what if I would have, but I wouldn't be with Alex. I wouldn't have two beautiful children. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I love my life right now. I love my husband, I love my kids, and I wouldn't change that for the world. So rejection and sometimes falling into, you know, rejection for yourself is sometimes not a bad thing.
Aww.
Aww.
Aww. You gotta turn that into a postcard or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's trademarked right there.
Anyways. Thank you for watching this episode of the Rejection Experiment. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of people who are listeners to the show love my wife, so she loves it when you guys send little messages to her. I relay those.
Thank you.
I think she gets more messages than I do. It's probably because she's more likable than I am. Oh, but it's true.
I don't know how to...
She doesn't want to tell me no, that's not true, because it is true. So thank you for watching this episode, and until next time.
Sayonara.
Oh, yeah. All right.